but it is what it is. There was almost not a pod today because I am freaking exhausted. All right. There was a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about today. Hmm. Most of this was news stuff. Um, Everybody seems to be doing, I guess, the right thing by by the people of the Ukraine. I guess, right? Put that here. Good Lord, I'm sorry. Oy. There you go. I just want to be able to see that. Um, but like I mentioned yesterday, they're requesting foreign flies and all that stuff to essentially win this for them, war for them because they can't fight against Russia, right? Russia's a much larger army. Ooh-wee. Biden turns to countries he once sought to avoid to help shutting off Russia's oil money. If you're successful in Putin is angry, U.S. intel head warns Russia could double down on the Ukraine. People keep acting like, so what if they double down? Like we don't want to upset Russia. I mean, Russia. I've said this before. Oh, excuse me. I said this before. Russia's not a threat to us. But again, I get the point. You don't want this thing to get ridiculous and run off the table. But it's ridiculous because you allow so much of it to go on for so long. Should we even read this Politico? Putin is angry. U.S. intel head warns Russia could double down on Ukraine, but the agency leaders agreed Russia would struggle to overcome fierce Ukrainian resistance. In order to save Russia, they might have to avoid the Ukraine and get out. And here's another thing: it also made them, the Russians, uh, all the people that they seek to snatch up, all these former Soviet bloc countries, nations, don't want any part of Russia. They don't want to be part of Russia again. And why would you? Hey, William, good to see you. Right? Why would you want to be part of Russia? You saw how they were in the I'm about to say the '70s, but all the way up until they fell. Right? They were a problem nation. Right? They would disappear people, do all this evil shit to keep you in line. And now that you saw what they did with the Ukraine, and now you saw what they're doing with the Ukraine. They showed what they did with the Chechnya. Now you're seeing what they did with the Ukraine. The Poles are a little worried, right? The Belarusians, they're coming through Belarus, making them take part in this. They're not really happy about that, but they can't really do a lot. So all these former Soviet countries are like, oh, the fucking, and they don't want to be part of Russia anymore. So I think Putin has totally and completely miscalculated. Um, but I got to tell you, I don't see why he wouldn't miscalculate because you let him do this just 10 years ago. But man, all this stuff coming down where today I heard one of the wildest things I've ever heard. So what country is that? Belarus. So one country is going to give their whole aviation arsenal to the Ukraine, and America is going to get them not like as next model like what we got, but like a step down. So Poland's going to get a completely new air force, and they're turning over their planes immediately, right? So here's the thing: now you don't have an air force. What if Russia chooses to attack you for doing this? Well, obviously somebody thought of it. Well, if we give you all our planes, what are we going to use? right? Somebody said, "Don't worry about it. Don't don't tell everybody this, you know. But if you get some issues after you make this deal with your planes, we will be your Air Force. We, the American military, the so and so military, da, da, da." So this is already looking like, um, yeah. So you just took a whole nation's essentially their whole navy, but not navy, their whole Air Force. But the thing is, and why they're doing it is, uh, in that part of the world, they all sort of use the same technology, same radar tower, same planes, right? So giving them what we've got, actually, I gotta find this article. Giving them what we have, uh, it would be an anomaly, right? It would be like giving them a UFO. So they can't really use. They might like one, but if you gave them a whole bunch of F-16, you also got to give them radar towers and new ordnance, right, for their bomb things and all this, like, right. But you don't have to do that because they essentially had the same planes. Their pilot, you have to teach your pilots how to fly new planes, right? So you don't have to do this now. They just need planes. They have pilots trained to fly these things. They don't have any planes. It's like it's like that. It's just that simple. It's just the wildest thing. Um, Poland gives all its planes. Let's see. Poland ready to send all its MiG-29 planes. Mind, we don't do MiGs, right? So this is a Soviet bloc kind of thing. All its MiG-29s planes to U.S. air bases in Germany so they can be given to the Ukraine. We're going to give all of our planes, every single one of them, and then we won't have an air force. But since you know what I mean, so now you have to retrain all your pilots, Poland, for next generation American. Oh my God, why are we always arming people? How are we not the bad guy if all we do is arm people? I mean, I'm not saying Ukraine is our fault, but it sure does fucking look like we may not be drug dealers, but it sure look like we're selling needles and little spoons and those little rubber things that you tie on your arm. All the we don't sell drugs, but so much side stuff we're involved in. Like we may not sell the weed, but we like sell the papers and the matches. It just doesn't make any sense. We're always happy to kick some shit off. Poland ready to place all its MiG-29 jets at the disposal of the U.S. So something tells me, because I mean, you just can't be like, yeah, sure, we're unprotected, sure, take it, and we'll figure something like, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. You need our planes, but I mean, what's in it for us? What if the Russians come tomorrow? Don't worry about while you don't have an air force. We'll low key in this contract. We'll deal with your air security. We'll train up your pilots. Well, we can't wait forever to. No, no, no. We'll push them through in our finest schools to teach them how to fly this, da, 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 and you'll have your air force back in like how long does it take to learn how to fly an F-6 or whatever the case is. Are we gonna pop this open? We're gonna pop this open because I don't know if this is gonna be present on stream button. Is too close to the end of stream button. Oh man, we really have to fix our shit and slide to the left on this thing. Uh, Reuters. Poland ready to place all its MiG-29 jets at the disposal of the U.S. I mean, oh, my God, I'm so half asleep and half awake. I remember when we started these streams, we would do 2 streams a day, like an hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning, and an hour and a half, 2 hours at night. We were playing a lot of guitar then too. But man, by the time like I was, I was not. But by the time I was over the giddiness of learning guitar and streaming all the time, I just could not do it anymore. 7 days a week, couldn't do it anymore. And now I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not streaming at 7 in the morning, but get up at like 6 and then stream at 6 is 12 hours later and trying to be interesting and entertaining and engaging. Especially around about 4 when I just begin to feel like, oh man, I could really use a 3 hour nap. uh, which is what happened here. Because I look at this and it takes a lot out of you. Um, Look at this picture. Woo. Warsaw, March 8th, Reuters. What is today? Today's the 8th, March. Poland's ready to deploy all its MiG 29 jets to Ramstein Air Base in Germany and put them at the disposal of the United States and urges other NATO members that own planes of that type to do the same. You're going to crowdsource an army so they can fight the Russians. Sorry about that. You're going to crowdsource an army to fight the Russians. Yeah, they should feel set upon, but this is all their fault. And people are talking about, oh, the Russians, what would the Russians do if you, oh, you know, and at the same time, thank you. At the same time, I don't know if Russia can demand you not do something, right? And the only way they can enforce that is war. And if your game is war, then who's better at war than America? I hate to be the one to fucking tell you, but America is in the business. America makes interesting shit that the world likes, but America is in the business of war. I wanted to look up something. Oh, we're gonna read this, but there was also something else I read that I was just kind of like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Uh, so let's see. Um, where's the news on this? This is not it. Where is this? Lead in water. Lead in gasoline blunted IQ of half the U.S. population. I read that today and I was like, "Wh- what? What must you do to see this and not go, whose fault is this? Who's responsible?" Right? That's what I say when I see it. My, I mean, half the population, childhood lead. Don't tell me you care about the children. Childhood lead exposure lowered the IQ of over 50% of the country. The fuck? Not of one state. And mind you, there is no water in Flint still. And the mayor, who was actually the governor who okayed this, who they arrested, is still out walking around. Right? They were going to charge him with murder. They knocked all these charges down to like jaywalking and littering, and other people came through and was like, no, 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 no. He poisoned the whole state, like a whole city rather, and they sort of reinstituted it, but all over the place. 98% of Philly. Lead detected in drinking water at almost all Atlantic County schools, almost all their schools. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine offers more than $4 million to help replace toxic lead pipes. Uh, man, 50% of the country? That's outrageous. All right, let's read this instead. Uh, we don't really need to read this. I mean, the general thing that I thought was amazing about this story was you're handing over your complete Air Force. That right there is first of all, that's a ball ass move. Whoever said this is what you're going to do, and don't worry about it. And how other people go, yeah, okay, give the Americans our Air Force, right? Um, because if Russia was like, oh, you don't have an Air Force now, it's your lunch. Somebody's got to come to their rescue. Air superiority is a thing. Um, I do not feel well. Oh my goodness, we've been up here for 15 minutes. All right. And Zelensky wants a no-fly zone still, and a lot of Americans want a no-fly zone as well. What I mean, look, if we're gonna do the thing, we should do the thing, war, right? But here's my thing. I think what should happen is all these Eastern Bloc nations should align themselves with I'm about to say Italy, with the Ukraine, um, and take on your old oppressor, which is the Soviet. It's not the Soviet. They're not Soviets anymore. Which is Russia, also known as the. They're not a socialist. They're, I forget what their official name is, but it is what it is. You can't change their government, and at this point, they can't change their government. So, and they're clip. They're look. Why did you get so in bed with the Russians in the first place? While telling the population, be wary, be wary, be wary. But you're opening business with them. You're to move here, not visit, and for like good. No, move here, have families here, like the, man. These people are fucking incompetent. Um, don't tell me they're my enemy when you open up the border to them. That means you're a problem. How come no one's looking at you if this was your idea? Yeah, it's outrageous. Belgium set to remove offers. Yeah, people are moving. Look, this is not even a long article. We can knock this out in seconds. At the moment, we don't have a replacement for the MIGs, but we're doing everything to speed up the process. NAD said in a statement released after he spoke by phone with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. In neighboring Slovakia, Defense Minister Jaroslav Nad reiterated the country's general aim was to replace Russian military equipment, including MiG-29 fighter jets, but said the country was not yet ready for such a step. That means you got to be under a NATO umbrella again, like it was World War II. I get it. Handing over your whole air force, that is fucking crazy. Um, U.S. surprised at Poland's really the U.S. is surprised. U.S. surprised at Poland's decision to give its fighter jets. So whose idea was it? Washington, March 8th, today. Poland's decision to pull all its MiG-29 fighter jets, put all it at the disposal of U.S. was a surprise move by Warsaw. What does look? What does NATO say about all this? I mean, I wonder what Vladimir Putin is thinking right now. Cause man, did he botch this one? He really did just screw the pooch on. This whole move is just crazy. That right, the Russian Federation, their federation, yeah, they're federally ridiculous. Uh, yeah, but this story said he was in a corner because it seems like he'd be back in a corner. He's got to do something. Putin's angry. Excuse me. Putin is angry. U.S. intel head warns Russia could double down. So what? They double down. So what? Look, sometimes you have to deal with the bad guy. This is that simple. Um, this really isn't our fault, but at the same time, like I said, man, we deal in war. We really do. So if you bring this kind of shit to the table, this is the kind of shit that America loves. Um, we can't win them all, but we do win a lot of them. And by a lot of them, I mean a lot of them. And it's the we're creative when it comes to this shit, and we have a ton of fucking men to throw at the problem, at the base, smallest bullshit level of not even thinking about soldiers' families or their names or what they want is just manpower to a problem. Yeah, we got that. We got that in spades. We got that. They don't have it like that. Um, what was I? I heard this thing go off. What was I looking for? Oh, good lord, I'm losing my Hassan Pfeffer. Russian President Vladimir Putin is. Hold on. How long is this article? It's not long at all. Quint Forget, Forgey. Is it Forgy or Forget? If I was pronouncing 4J just to get all the ladies. All right. Whew, my stomach is killing me. Um, Russian President Vladimir Putin is likely to double down in the Ukraine as his. First of all, you guys have been getting it wrong a lot, so don't tell me what people are going to do like you have a crystal ball, because quite frankly, you're always wrong. You're always wrong. Like, a broken clock is right twice a day, and you're a broken clock. That's not right at all. Um, Russian President Vladimir Putin is likely to double down in the Ukraine as his forces remain frustrated nearly 2 weeks into their invasion, but he will find it especially challenging to maintain control of captured territory and install a sustainable pro Moscow regime in Kiev. The leader of the top U.S. intelligence agency told Congress lawmakers on Tuesday. I agree with that. That doesn't seem far off to me. He's already getting a lot of pushback from the population, so I don't see why the population will listen to him. Yeah, I know I should go get a glass of milk, right? But I don't like it cold. I would have to nuke it. And then if I'm going to nuke it, I might as well hit it with chocolate. And if I hit it with chocolate, I'm drinking chocolate milk. Uh, what I would like to do is just make coffee and hit it with chocolate milk, but you can't do that either. Um, yeah, whew, I should I should get a glass of milk. This is the problem. Why does it take this? This is my life. You saw that? It took. So I'm like, I should get it. Why do you have to think that hard about getting a glass of milk? This is my ridiculous existence. I do this on a lot of shit. So yeah, I'm good with politics because I'm always going another. But I'm also infuriating because, uh, Sean, to the pin. Which one do you want? Um, ooh, I like this orange one. That might. Ooh, this is peach. Do I want to? Yeah, I like the. But traditional black is really good. You can't really count traditional black. I should get a red pen just in case I make a mistake since I'm using pens. So we should get. Yeah, I might need a fat tip pen versus a small tip pen that I got. And if I get that, I shouldn't use this pen. I should get a small Sharpie pen. Where's my small Sharpie pen, which is not here? I guess I could use a Micron, right? Oh, did I just drop that? I did. Um, and now that I'm talking about pens, I have to go and replace this one because this one dried out yesterday. Remember that? See. So now I'm off on a rant about fucking pens, and that let me get rid of. Actually, do I want to hold on to this on? I know what it looks like. It's a chisel tip. Put this here. Put that there. Take my pens, even though I didn't get the micron, which I dropped. I was supposed to pick it up. And now, bam, four pens, and I will have to replace this one because this doesn't have the tip I like. But before you know it, nonsense. Uh, what are you gonna do? It's the quirk of craziness. What up, Tony D? Good to see you. I hope all is rocking and all is right with you in your part of the universe. Eric Adams says no to chocolate milk. What is Eric? I like Eric Adams. What is Eric Adams' issue with chocolate milk? Can we even look that up? Eric Adams was bullied by chocolate milk in junior high school. Eric Adams, chocolate milk. Don't remove it. Dairy Association urges Mass not to mix flavored milk in New York City schools. Why would you? Because you could save $20 million if we just took chocolate milk out of school. Some bean counter bullshit artist said that. Whose kids go to private school. I mean, America has the worst schools and the worst food and the worst food in schools. See, man, yeah, just because you're a vegan, then nobody wants their kids to be. Look, you want schools to be better? Take out all the junk food shit and put healthy crap in there. It is a public school, and you have control over it. It's not a restaurant where you cater to the whims of these people. These people meaning kids and their friggin' ridiculous parents. Well, I want their vote, and I want. Well, if you elect me, I'll put all kind of poison in school. That's your problem, right? Everybody sits there and they make a fiefdom, but the people at the top, who may have a better plan only gets to stay there. The very top only gets to stay there 4 years, right? The decision maker. America needs a whole redo of its of its system. But the people in charge don't want it because they control. Like I was telling Ted yesterday, America is broken. The people who like it broken are the people at the top because they get to do what they want in this broken system. I don't pay taxes. My kids don't fight wars. I get to rape your sister. She comes to work for me. This is fucking great. What, you want to change some of that? No. I get to pay you $2 an hour for working $12. You know what? You want a union? No. Right? All the people want to change, or the people at the top finally got to where they want it, where they are they are above the law and above the politicians. That's the and nobody and it doesn't work. The place is about to collapse, and then I really do think it's going to be a whole lot of people in a whole bunch of trouble. Um, we'll see how it plays out. You should drink water, but at the same time, you're not the kids' parents. You can't make these kids drink water. What about inspiring people to do shit? Remember that? What happened to that? Nobody inspires anybody to do anything. It's all these Iron Curtain edicts from on high while you talk about freedom and give people bullshit food in schools. Ah, man. Some of these fights you're going to have to take on. You're going to have to eat people's lunch on the topic. And no one seems to be doing that. The idea, I mean, first of all, Terry McAuliffe lost here in Virginia because, one, he's a Clintonite and we're sick of you people. But two, he went off on a rant against parents, and parents were like, oh, he's going to do whatever. And he caved to that. I'd be like, no, then homeschool your own fucking kid. It's an option. But don't come in here demanding that the whole school cater to what a small group of parents want. And that's how Glenn Youngkin won. And now he's going to play word games, and your kids are going to get fucking stupider. In a place where I already went on my rant about how they don't run and play in the sun and exercise anymore, and now the Pentagon agreed. So now they're squishy and weak, and they're stupid because of the lead, 50% of the population, right? Right? And on top of that, the schools are shit, and you don't feed them well in the schools. Man, I'm supporting you, Eric Adams, but don't be a fucking piece of shit, man. Do all that shit, politics, 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 every place else. Leave the children alone. You're gonna need them to know shit in 15 years. But not him, right? All my money will be managed by hedge funds, and they'll have money rubles from the Russians and yen from the well, I guess yen from the Japanese would make sense. But what do the Chinese use? Yen, Chinese yen. What do the Japanese use? Oh, for God's sake, Sean. Good lord. Uh, There's a Chinese yen and a Japanese yen, right? Chinese yen. Are the Chinese are the Japanese on the American dollar? I don't think so. I mean, everybody's on the American dollar. I heard that the ruble is like 0.0027 to the dollar, and I was like, I don't know math, but is that point 0 because 1.0 is a dollar. 0.1 is 10 cent. 0.01 is a penny. So what the hell is 0.00027? 27 hundredth of a penny? The ruble? A dollar? Ooh. That means if you had 1 million rubles in the bank, uh, right, and the equivalent of $1 million American in rubles in the bank, by the time they converted that, your $1 million becomes, I want to say, $270,000, right? It's not $27,000. That would be ridiculous. If you had $1 million, with my calculator, I mean, good Lord. All right, here we go. Let's get this. Let's see if I can do. Can I not move my calculator? What is the problem? All right, here you go. All right. Let's say you had $1 million. Da 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 da. Would you times it by 0.0000025? Or is that too many zeros? It might have been 0.00025. Let's try this again. All right. Why am I even? It's you're gonna divide this by 0.00025. Did I make the same mistake? Oh, I times it, but now it's 4 billion. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. Uh, I might need to do the opposite because it can be what I think it is. Divided by 0.00025. That's am I timing this or dividing this? What am I doing? Anyway, I think if I have to convert this, I'm thinking this is like $40,000, so that can't be right. But hey, all you money people, all you numbers people, help a brother out. What exactly is 0.00025? What would that be? Because if you had $1 million and all of a sudden you were getting 0.10% on that, I'm thinking that would be $100,000, right? Wouldn't it? I mean, let's do the math. A million, 10% of a million, 10% is 100,000, right? Uh, 1% of a million is 10,000. 1% of a million is 10,000. That's right. So that would be under $10,000. Man, the economy is ridiculous. Let's look at this. The ruble. All right. Hold it. Ruble. Oh, good lord. Ruble. 1B. Ruble to dollar exchange. It's over here. Oh, it fell off the table. Good lord. Look at this. 0.0077 units to the dollar. I mean, how that what is that? Russian ruble. All right, so if I had, let's go over here. Hold it. Let's go over here. If I had $1 million, oh, hold on. If I had, oh, let's redo the page. If I had 1 ruble would be worth it would be worth 77 hundredths of a cent. So let's do this. That would be, I would need 5 rubles. I would need 10 rubles. I would need 15 rubles to get 12 cents. I would need 20. Oh, for God's sake, this can't be right. This can't be right. I would need 100 rubles. 100 rubles would be, hold it. Oh my God. Hold it. So you're telling me $1 American, um, how about we do this? $1 million, like we were saying. One, oh Lord, one, one. Good Lord, come on, man. Oh, this not even on. One. All right, $1 million American would be. Good Lord. Oh, you know what? Let's just get this back to $1,000 American will get you $130,000. So yeah, 100 American dollars. It's $13,000 to the ruble. How much is milk? $10. You need $1,300. So to go out and buy bread and milk, let's say those are $5 a piece, you would need $1,300 now in Russia. I don't see how this is sustainable for Vladimir Putin. Mind you, Vladimir Putin is worth a couple of $100 billion because he's been stealing money since he took office in 2000. Public servant, how much is Vladimir Putin worth? And this is what happens, right? Once you get there, you're not giving this up because once he's out of power, someone's going to charge him with something. He still has enemies there, not just in the West. So this is a ride and die position for him. Just like Saddam Hussein, right? He wasn't going to go, wow, well, I can leave power or be invaded, right? Because what's going to happen is as soon as I leave power, even they're going to want me in the Hague, right, for war crimes. Even if they don't want me in the Hague for war crimes, all these other Middle Eastern people, not in my own, like not outside of the nation, right? But in my own country, in my own parliament, some of the, one, it's gonna be a tit for tat. So yeah, I have to ride this bitch out. At that point, your nation, you are the nation, right? Somebody has to get rid of you. Wow, $1 American is 130 rubles. If I had a fucking, ooh, look at this. I've got $20 right here. This is 2,600 rubles. Mm, what could I do with 2,600 rubles? Right? What could I do with it? Well, I'm the man in Moscow. If anything was open, nothing there is open. All the Western fancy places like Chanel and all these places closed shop. One, they shouldn't be there in the first place. I said that. But all right. And the West are used to the West. The Russians are used to all these toys that the West have. One girl was complaining about her earpods, her Apple earpods, and not being able to live without the latest update for her phone. I was like, "You're adorable." Other than your French accent, what is wrong with me? Other than your Russian accent, you sound like every other young lady I've ever heard on modern since about 2005, let's say. You sound like every other young lady I've heard or seen. You look like them, just as pretty, just as much makeup y, just as stylish y as what they're not like. You're not wearing like a one of those fur hats like you see Yeltsin wearing like the 1980s. You look just like it could have been any random street. Could have been a street in well, I guess that is Europe. Could have been a street in Western Europe proper, right? Could have been a street in England or France or Germany. Could have been a street in Manhattan, Canada, right? Tell you, man, they don't want this shit. He is fighting an old war, and all the people are going, what? I want to go to America and hang out and see New York, and yeah, well. But every now and then you find somebody go, oh, we went without in the old country, and not the old country, but we went out in the old ways of 1980 where we didn't need it, and we will go again with that. Yeah, but you know who's saying that? 65-year-old ladies. It says pensioner, right? So they're tired. They have all that nice stuff, right? They don't have to work anymore, and they're thinking, oh, yeah, this is the Soviet. This is what this. No, they turned their back, and all that Soviet shit went that way, and all the evil people, the kleptocrats, kept power and tried to sort of attach their economics um, to the West, and they did, but not the West. You know what? It's looking more like it's looked like the West was like, come on, guys. Right. First, I think it was about it. The more I'm sitting here talking about it, maybe it was getting you addicted and your people addicted to all that American swag. Ooh, give me another hit of that Apple iPhone. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I need a BMW instead of these Russian fucking ridiculous cars. Ooh, 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 ooh. 5G internet, all this shit. Fancy clothes, Chanel perfumes. Ooh, hit me with it one more time. Find the vein, find the vein. Now all of a sudden your pusher man is gone. No iPhones, no none of this Western shit. Now your people are gonna be like, what? And you're gonna go, we don't need that. We can go back to old Soviet ways of eating borscht and bull. They're gonna be like, what? No, man. They think they're Western, right? So okay, but why do we not have all the nice stuff then? Why don't we make any of this shit? Will be the next question. And the part of that shit is, well, we'll just make and it'll be the same. Nope. Nope. There's a magic and a swag and everybody being on it. Part of the thing about an iPhone is when I text, some people show up in green and some people show up in blue, right? Um, you're in an ecosystem. So now you're gonna have your Russian ecosystem, but nobody wants to be part of your ecosystem. They want to be part of the one where everybody else is. It reminds me of that Jesse Jackson. That Eddie Murphy joke where he goes, I want McDonald's, and his mother's like, you don't need McDonald's. We got McDonald's at home. He's like, McDonald's at home, and his mother makes him a hamburger, and he doesn't look like the McDonald's hamburger. He's she goes makes him this like fat, like homemade hamburger, and he has to go outside with it, crying and sort of running down his arm, and his friends are making fun of him, right? He's like, ugh. And they're like, they're just cause kids, and they're like, we have actual McDonald's. What the hell is that ridiculous burger you got that your mama made you? And that's exactly what's gonna happen here. They're gonna be like, hey, look, you don't need Apple iPhones and stuff. We've got Russia, phone, and people are gonna be like, what the fuck is this? I don't want this. You know that the Russian government is gonna be all on it, just like the American government is all on this shit now. Um, yeah, they don't want that. So what is the next step? I dare you, because now you're running out of money to fight your war. That war will last a year. Better know fucking who's doing what. I heard I heard wow, look at this thing. It fell off a cliff. Do we want to even see if we can get a really good look at this? It fell off a freaking cliff. Oof, 5 years. They were doing well, but they began to slide with Chechnya. Yeah. 2000s, they weren't January. This is COVID though. Everybody took a hit during COVID. 2010. This is when he took office. Well, he was in office here. It's, ever since he's been in office, it's just steadily dropping like a hot fuck. Oh, woof! Wow, that is a steady decline. All right, come on, man. Look at this. I wonder what these peaks were. We can look up those days. Yeah, that is not bueno. All right, let's get this. We were looking up Chinese dollars. Chinese currency. Is that the same as the Japanese currency? So they're 16 cent to the dollar and stable. 16 cent to the dollar. Wait, are you telling me the yen is above the dollar? I think you're telling me for the American dollar, the yen is $6.23. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. One Chinese yen equals 0.16 United States dollars. Oh no, okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. You need more of their dollars for our dollars. That's how that works. All right. Okay, just wanted to make sure. It was a little. What is it called though? Chinese yuan, yuan, not yen, yen. So Japan has a yen. Chinese have the yuan. Yen. This is important to know. The Lord, the Japanese yen, 86 cents to their dollar. All right. That's wrong. The ruble is not equal to one. The president said the ruble is equal to 1 penny. That's wrong. The ruble is less than a penny by a lot. How much is 100 US in yen? $10 is Japan. Then they have this weird kind of like $1 equals 15. $10 equals 1,157 Japanese yen, but $1 million. You're like, what? Why don't you just break these numbers down to simple numbers? One is 10 million yen or 50,000. What? It's like they're counting it like it's like if you say how many dollars do you have? You say I have 10,000 pennies. That's what it sounds like. Surely there's a simpler way to because 10 million yen. How much is a bag of chips? 10 million yen. Well, oh, okay. Do you have do you have 10 million yen? Um, let the kids fucking have their chocolate milk, you idiot. Look, man, I hate to say this. I support, but man, these people once they get into power, uh, they make me crazy. So now he's got this. He's got to always look like he's absolutely in control and things are going well. And they're not going well, brother. They are absolutely not going well. Let's read the whole article. Russian President Vladimir Putin is likely to double down in the Ukraine. We're going to read this whole thing this time. In Ukraine, as his forces remain frustrated, nearly 2 weeks into their invasion. In the 2 weeks into their invasion, but he will find it especially challenging to maintain control of a captured territory and install a sustainable pro-Moscow regime. Right, because none of those people are going to be cooperating with you. The leader of the top U.S. intelligence agency told congressional lawmakers on Tuesday, speaking before the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence during the panel's annual hearing on worldwide threats. Well, Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines and said Russia's invasion had thus far proceeded has thus far quote unquote proceeded consistent with the plan we assessed the military would follow. The Russians are consistent with what we thought the Russians would do. What? And that is get stuck in the mud because it's spring and get shot at by drone weapons that you get. Look, listen. Maybe the Russians had a plan and you had a totally and completely different plan. I'll buy that. But don't sit here and go, man, we plotted how this was going to go. We knew other people were going to shut down banks and give them, uh, what do they call them? In laws? Those are some mean in laws. NLAW, which is the British version of our Javelin missiles. Well, and we saw the helicopter footage. The sinister thing about that, they can shoot you down from 50 feet to 2 miles. And there's no backtrack to where like they call it a clean uh trail because there's no black packs or there's a smoke truck coming from the woods over there. They're over there shoot randomly. You don't know where it came from. You just hear buzzing on your console. You look down to see what's buzzing. Missile. Then you look up to see where the missile's coming from, and it's on you already. Amazing, amazing. And this is what did the Russians in the first time around. We gave all these, well, not in Europe proper, but we gave all these uh, shoulder-fired missiles to the Mujahideen, who later became the Taliban, right, to blow up Russian airships. Because air superiority is the thing. When we put down we put down when Saddam Hussein put down the uprising in Iraq all those years ago, and America said, "All right, you can't do X, you can't do Y," and they were like, "Can we still have helicopters?" And America was like, "Yeah, whatever, whatever. We don't care about your helicopters." And Saddam Hussein was like, "We can have helicopters," and all he did was sit above them by 500 feet and fire rockets into the ground, fire cannons from these guns, and stayed in power for another 25 years. No, another 20 years, 18, 20 years. Whereas if you said no, if you put a plane in the air, we're shooting it down, then the people who were trying to overthrow him 50 years would have had a shot. It's not that hard. Not that hard. I am not a military tactician. I'm not some tactical genius. But geez, the shit that I know that I picked up on video games, you're violating those simple, stupid principles. Actually, they're not stupid principles. These principles are actual principles that they shoved in a game. So you can, I mean, you're not gonna become a general with it, but it might spark some interest, right? Um, what's the gentleman? who wrote books. Tom Clancy. There's a famous story about Tom Clancy writing these books and being such a attention to detail and like, oh, this might he got a visit from the government, the Defense Department. They wanted to know about some of his stories because they were too close to the truth for him not to have a source, right? And of course, that came out like 25 years later after they changed the design of whatever submarine he wrote about in like 1980, the Hunt for Red October. But I mean, that might just be BS too. But it's an interesting story. Um, and he's passed away since, but he's confirmed it and copped to it a lot of times. And during his lifetime, he would visit um these military Pentagon like up and give speeches about Russian protocol and da 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 because he was such a wonk on this stuff now as he wrote these books. He became someone who, and this is why the military loves this stuff. Yeah, we can teach you to think like we think, and you can go out and do this thing. But every now and then, someone puts a completely different spin on stuff that we know, and that stuff, like me, I will come to it. I will read what you read and come to slightly different conclusions because I'm not in your arena, right? I look at it with outside eyes. So they like to have people who write these books that they think are interesting come and talk to us. So talk, like but they don't. I mean, it's interesting, but they don't really. You know what I mean? They're the military. Uh, but here's the thing. He's speaking to the House Permanent Select Committee. These people go to these things and lie all the time. I mean, once I heard Permanent Select Committee, I'm sitting here going, should I even read? Is this proper American propaganda for me? Should I even read this? Right? Oh, the Russians are gonna lose in a week. Fast forward to 8 years later when they got their shit together, and not only do they have the Ukraine, they have Poland and Belarus. Right? Um, we're giving them a lot of. Well, how are we not at war? This is. Ugh. Look, the good thing about this is this might be too much for the Russian people, and they may activate. But he's over there going, "Hey, if you protest, you can get 15 years in jail." I mean, that's and they're going to rubber stamp a lot of convictions, just like we rubber stamp convictions here. Do you guys want an Altoid? This is wintergreen, which is better than peppermint, in my humble opinion. And then when it's empty, I can use it as a guitar case. You know what? I think I'm gonna. I don't like the fact that they use these pins and you throw them away and they just rotten. I'm like, what? Just surely, we are a wasteful society. We don't deserve. We really don't. But like I was telling my homie, that is pretty good. Like I was telling my homie, I eat these things like candy and I shouldn't. The Earth is gonna be fine. It's the people that are gonna have the problem, right? There were people here before, right? There were like 7 types of human animal here, and we're the last ones. So it makes you think, well, what if there were 7 types of some 7 types of black people, 7 types of Asian people, seven. Well, there's 3 big groups, right? Blacks, whites, and Asians. Seven, and then subclasses of those groups. Um, Everything else would be your ethnicity from the country you're from, French, German, right? The Europeans are from Europe, right? The European tribe. All those different nationalities are different. Versus the blacks, Africa, all those different nationalities are different, but they're all simply, essentially, with the exception of the language and the culture, it's the same people, right? The slight variations: the brown people, the brown people; the white people, the white people; the Asian people are the Asian people. Never the twain shall meet. But it is what it is, man. All right. I'm really, I mean, they're and they're always wrong. What does that say? Ultimately, he's been proven wrong on every account. Burns said those assumptions have proven to be profoundly flawed over the last 12 days. According to Burns, Putin launched his invasion on the base. I'm reading it backwards to front. I do that too. I read the last paragraph, then I read the next last paragraph to get context on the last paragraph. And then if I read the third to last paragraph, I'll just go and read. I'll start in the middle of the article, and then I'll read half of the article because I'm ridiculous and I don't make any sense. And then if that's good, I'll read the whole article. Uh, Oh, I am right. The ruble is less than 1 penny. Wow. I would need, oh my God, I would need $1,300. I think we just looked at for $1. So 1 penny of $1,300 would be about $130 for the American penny. How is uh you are the leader of a nation. How are you? I have to stand up. You're the leader of a nation. I have to cut this light on, and I have to not trip over this guitar. How are you? How are you not? How are you? You have to respond to this, even as you did it. You have to respond to this. I mean, an army marches on its feet, on its stomach, they say, but in order to march on its stomach, it needs. What did that general say? Amateurs talk about tactics, professionals talk about logistics, right? And he's right because I'm always talking about tactics. And when you said that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You got no tactics if you can't get guns there. And it's the insight you get from now the camera angle is funny. It's the insight you get from people who are in the field, um, and who've been in the field for 30 years, right? Uh, and his logistics is bad, right? They're hitting his supply lines. You got guys calling home, talk about we're surrounded, and the guys can't get to us, and we're out of fuel to move everything. So what? You're gonna walk out 8 tanks, 3 guys a tank. What is that? 8, 16, 24. So now you got 24 guys of an army with no protection walking across a landscape trying to find other members of their army. There's only 24 of you. What is a battalion? 60 guys? No, that a squad. Oh, good lord, we can look this up. I used to know this. What is a squad versus a battalion versus a unit? Uh, a fire team can be 2 to 8 guys, right? Let's look at it. What what is military squad? Squad unit, fire team, crew, squad, section, patrol, element, platoon, type, leader, staff, echelon, unit, formation, command, temporary. All right. In the military terminology, a squad is among the smallest military organizations. It's led by a non-commissioned officer, uh, anybody who's not a lieutenant or and above. NATO and the U.S. doctrine. See, NATO and the U.S. I mean, the NATO doctrine is essentially the U.S. in Europe military doctrine. Defines a squad as an organization larger than a team. A fire team or a fire team space is a military subunit, a subunit of infantry designed to optimize bounding, overwatch, and fire movement. Right. So that means we fire I'm sorry, you fire and we move forward to the enemy. This is the enemy. We're trying to gain, right? So let's put that here. So we're going at it. So squad A jumps up and opens fire, and squad B inches a little closer, and then squad B opens fire, and A inches a little closer, and so that's bounding. You're bounding over each other, right? You're keeping fire on your opposition so you can move up and in your opposition. The closer you are, the better chance you have at hitting what you aim at, right? Because your target is now closer. But in order to do that, because if you just walk up without firing, they're gonna blow your brains clean out of your brain pan. All right, so yeah, we know this, we know that, and we're looking up how many people are in British Squad. Good lord, they used to just give you the numbers. What is going on? Here it is. Fire team is 2 to 4. Lance corporal. Squad is 4 to 15. A platoon is 15 to 45. So your tank squad is about 14 guys in about five, three, seven tanks, right? You might have more, but they're gonna meet a company which is 80 to 200. Well, I haven't seen that many men in there. So yeah, four plus armies, general the two plus armies, a field marshal, a colonel is 100 to 300,000 army personnel. Man, this is amazing how they stack who does what in the military and what rank has how many people under them and what you're responsible for. It's very smart. It's long and well thought out. A lot of people can use that to build whatever they're building because, I mean, why reinvent the wheel? Come on, stupid. All right, so, excuse me. Ugh, my stomach is churning now because I ate those mints. So, deal with Manchin with reshape Dems fight to keep the majority. All right, hold on. Is there a deal with Manchin? When was this written? 3/8/22. It was written today. Deal with Manchin with reshape Dems fight to keep the majority. Yeah, you have a majority, then all of a sudden he's not on your side anymore. What? I would deal darkly with him. He's a traitor. Let's tip this down. I was gonna do more standing up, but you know what? I don't like the camera angle. I think he's a traitor to the idea of what a democracy is, not what the Democratic Party is, what a democracy is. It's a democracy. How can one person hold it up? So sinister. Bullshit, man. Democrats' most at risk senator wants to transform the artist formerly. Democrats' most at risk senators want to transform the artist formerly known as Build Back Better into an inflation buster just in time for the midterms. Now I get what he's doing. He's trying to be clever and witty. He's got a Prince reference in there, sort of the artist formerly known. See, and you take this and then you demonize it, even as people need it. Build back better. All right. Well, think about that when the fucking bridge falls down on you while you're traveling home from work. And know in your last moments that no one will do shit about it. And I base that on uh, more than one incident of buildings and bridges and houses falling on people, and this government having no will to fucking look into the who built it, how they built it, whether it was up to code or not. But have a giant interest in running in front of the media and tell you how they're going to be tough on crime and going to look into all aspects and yada 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 yada. And by the way, I'm John, and I'll be running for Senate next week, next year, next month, next to this, that, or the other thing. Teddy Ted is in the chat. What up, Ted? Yeah, man. Here's your problem with the subvariants. They come hot and fast, and we are slow to respond. So instead of every 6 weeks telling me what a new variant is and what I should or should not be doing about it, maybe I should be allowed to take my chances. But here's the thing: if I'm allowed to take my chances, it's gonna get grisly, right? You're gonna expose a lot more people who shouldn't be exposed just because you got rid of all these mandates. I walked into places today, and I'm the only one in a mask, and I'm vaccinated. So maybe they're vaccinated, maybe they're not, maybe they think it's a hoax. Look, people are people, right? And some people are fucking stupid. Excuse my language. I heard Russell Williams twice. Russell Wilson got traded. Man, we've been hearing this for 2 years. He wanted to go. Uh, the Broncos suck though. I hate to be the one to say it. Um, where was I? You threw me off track with the non sequitur, William. Anyway, it doesn't matter if I ran out of information on it. It's good to be gone. It's not like I'm short of things to think about to talk about. Most at-risk center wants to transform the artist, formerly known as Build Back Better, into inflation buster, just in time for the midterms. That's really what it is. And then they're gonna sit here and go, well, we have this in the works, and that's got to work, and this it'll be better next year, and it'll be more of this next. Give us a few more months. You can't quit yet. A few more months, it'll be better. That's like I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger day. Give me the hamburger today, and man, when my money roll in, you are gonna be covered. It's been 10 years, man. All you do is eat for free in this establishment. Um, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for your vote today. It's a gambit that could jumpstart President Joe Biden's stalled domestic agenda. All these, it could do that, or it could do jack shit, bowl, nothing. What? Somebody at this point, somebody tell me one success of Joe Biden. And what kind of fucking name is Robin Nat? What's wrong with your parents? Um, what's the accomplishment? Anybody in the chat? Anybody? What's Joe Biden's accomplishment? And I was anti before it was cool. And all this fucking fuck Joe Biden shit. If you want to say fuck Joe Biden, just say fuck Joe Biden. It's America, right? All this, what were they saying? Brandon, be nice, Brandon, or whatever. Man, I drive around here. People have freaking Trump flags on their flagpole, and I hate Trump. I hate Obama. Like arrogantly mean shit on their car. So you know people's political affiliations, and it's always got this sinister feel to it too. Always this mean spiritedness. So watch it. What is the deal? Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer started things off Monday by offering something of a roadmap to, and he also took Biden took a shot at the progressives in the party, right? You need to do something. No black people should be voting Democrat in this country. Let them get the immigrant Chinese Russian vote. Fucking ridiculous bullshit. You're telling me, oh, there's a problem, but there really is no problem. Oh, we're gonna fix your problem, but don't utter or put into any form what your problem is. Just leave it to us, and we'll take care of it. And how dare you call us out on anything we're doing? You know what? I can't wait for the Republicans to take charge because it's going to be a shit show. They're going to have just as much nonsense, stupidity, bullshit as the Democrats. They're both the same party, completely incompetent. We are completely at the mercy of morons. Chuck Schumer. What is his last great accomplishment? The Congress is an old folks' home, an old criminal folks' home. I don't see this deal. The agenda, including hearing on a plan. The deal is a hearing on a plan. There's fuck your plan, fuck your committees, fuck you. We're gonna look into it. Fuck you. We're gonna have an investigation. You don't do anything, and then you have these things that people don't even show up to meet. You see the halls, they're completely empty. Man, America needs a change of regime. It really does. And I'm telling you, I think it's gonna be military personnel who does it. I play video games. Well, I play video games. I play video games. I like Dungeons and Dragons. And what is this? Oh man, part of the Dungeons and Dragons lore. This goes here. Part of the Dungeons and Dragons lore is this great man founded this town, right? He came in because he was an adventurer. He comes from an adventure at this Podunk town, sees the promise on it, founds this town, has them build this wall, and then he goes off on an adventure where he dies and he never returns. But he left military people in charge to build the wall in this town. But the people were taken over by magistrates and bullshit artists, and then the military people got sick of this town, and just took over, and then it became like a military town. But it implies that just because you have know-how, you still have to defend it, and watch how you defend it, because if you don't, the people that you hired them to look out for you will take it from you because they are the muscle, right? You may control the muscle until the muscle don't want you controlling them anymore. And the country, the only people, I said this before, the only people in the country who aren't taking money from the Chinese are the American military, right? Uh, some of these things should not have been allowed to happen. And now we're looking at NATO. And here's the thing about that: Trump called out NATO. I said it before, and now here it is. You got to deal with that thing that Trump called out. He's supposed to be a racist and a sex maniac and all this shit. How come he saw the thing that you didn't see? Um, yeah, it's fuckery. They haven't told me any deal that they have on the table, and been able to revive expanded child credit. If all Democrats stick together, they could pass a tax reform, climate change, blah blah. Ifs is what you're offering me in this article. Democrats have talked for years about cutting. See more. Da, 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 da. Maggie Haberman said she. Oh look, Maggie Hassan, another endangered incumbent, said her goal is to hold big pharma accountable. Because boy, so what's what is this article about? They didn't do anything. This article is about nothing. Oh my God, waste my time with this. It's 8 o'clock. Holy moly, we've got 4 minutes. It is 8 o'clock. We have 4 minutes. It's gonna rain tomorrow. Putin is angry. Again, the hell with Putin and what he wants. Uh and Biden had another press conference at freaking what? 11:30? Is he not up later? What does he get up at like 9:30, 10 in the morning, and then go to bed at like 3:30 in the afternoon, running around with his sunglasses, talking shit like he'll beat your ass. Come on, man. Who the fuck are you talking to? President or not, I'll kick your old rickety ass down a fucking flight of stairs. Right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna have some young Secret Serviceman come deal with it. What are you talking? Why is he always talking like he's gonna get up and do some shit? He's always been bullshit. He's always been bullshit. Of all the politicians, and I don't hate any. I try not to be emotionally invested. You hear me saying that on the show about celebrities and rich people and their bullshit. But some people are evil and fucking stupid, and Joe Biden is one of them. He's been senator for 50 fucking years. What is we got here? He had to go to Texas today. Who, Biden went to Texas to do what? To look at the border, or was the climate nice for his age? Is the new White House in Arizona? The Senate passes 107 billion overhaul of the United States Postal Service. Only look, man, this is not hard. The Postal Service should not be allowed to die, so FedEx and DHL and Amazon can fucking make money, right? You need the post office. Outrageous. The arrogance of these people. 16 charged with murder after a deadly shooting outside of an Iowa high school. Come get your kids, people. It's not TV. It's not other people. Raise your children. What did you raise them to be? To want to believe. I told you those people who their son shot up the school, skilled 5 people. Then they went and arrested the parents. No. Yeah, stop going. Oh, I don't know. When I tried, and he's mentally ill, and we got all these guns. And oh, what are you gonna do? Because it's hard raising him. Someone else's son is dead because you did a piss poor job with your kid. I'll be right back. All right. Uh, sorry, had to blow my honker. Not really blow it, but drain it. Here we are. I got a minute, 5 seconds. So, see, here's the thing. I'm tired when we start, and I'm like, I can't even get going. And then by the time I'm going, I'm like, all right. I have to limit this pod, this nameless pod, to an hour. And then I'm like, I want to do more than an hour, but I don't want to do 3 hours anymore. And I somehow settled on an hour and 15 minutes because that don't make any sense. Oh, this. I went to all this trouble to set up this pedal board. Haven't touched it in like 5 days, probably 10 days. Um, and here we are. The last 20 seconds. We're not gonna end. Oh, good lord. We're not gonna end immediately. There you go. We're not gonna end immediately, but we're gonna keep it cash. We're gonna keep it ghost. We're gonna keep it. All right. We're gonna keep it. Let's go over here. We're gonna keep it tight. We're gonna go a little long, but we're not gonna go too long. We're gonna run through a few more things. We're gonna talk about Russell Wilson to the. So who bought LA's The One Mega Mansion? This is really what you get in American news. Updates about rich people and what they're doing with their money, and and then you get obsessed about what they do and where they're going and that's it's not because you want to know, but it's all they give you, and then you get sucked into what are they doing, and that's the celebrity culture that they give you. Otherwise, you'd have to talk about your poverty and your miserableness, and that just makes you mad at them. I don't understand why seeing all their shit doesn't make you mad at them, especially knowing that the place is rigged. Meet the diverse class of swimsuit models. See, they're always pushing race and racism. Hey, look, we're not racist. Look, we've got a diverse class of, and then it's bullshit. How about a diverse class of college graduates all over the country for a prolonged period? How about that? You don't get that. Man, I'm about to lose my mind with some of these freaking people. Um, and at this point, I gotta tell you, I like a naked lady, but everybody naked kills the vibe, right? It's like the first lady going, "Ooh, look at my bosoms." You're going, "Ooh, yeah, your bosoms." By the 1500 lady on your walk to the grocery store, you're like, "Lady, come on, put a shirt on, get away from me. I just left the house." You're the 30th person in the last 10 minutes, right? You take off the allure of it, and this is it. You're just browbeat. Hey, I'm sexy. Come over here, look at my titties, and sign up to my YouTube channel, Twitch channel, OnlyFans. Read my book, write my this. Oh, look at me! I'm marrying this guy. He's a singer. So, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't want to look at you. I got my own problems. Why don't you listen to what I'm saying? Why don't you listen to me? I look at you. You're a hot mess. If you rented a car from Hertz, there could be a warrant for your arrest. Yeah, don't rent a car from Hertz. It's my opinion, because people are renting cars, returning them, and then people at Hertz are reporting the car stolen, and then you're going about your business some other place, and there's a warrant out for you. You don't even know it. So you blow a light, or you get pulled over at a random checkpoint. They check your car, they pull you out and arrest you because there's a warrant from Hertz. And Hertz does what all these other companies do. Well, we maintain that it's not our fault; it's someone else's. No, it's your fucking fault. Just fix the problem. Stop covering it up with PR work, and that's the problem. Wait, how much did they get for Russell Wilson? He went in there with a ski mask. Implies they robbed him. They got a deal. They paid little for him. And I want to remind you, I remember when they didn't call it scrambling quarterback. John Madden, everybody loves John Madden. He said, they didn't have any freaking mental discipline to stay in the pocket, right? Now everybody wants a scrambling quarterback. So yeah, it's easy to hop on board now, but when you first see these things that it's just essentially my group does. The first thing they want to do is it's not what I'm used to. So those fucking people need to get back in line, and then we revolutionize shit, right? What is this dunking in basketball? What is that? What is this 3-point shot that they're doing in the parks and the playgrounds all over the country? Now we're professional NBA, not gonna fucking have them. And then all of a sudden there's 3-point shots and sky hooks, and now your box office is up, and now you love black people again. I'm so completely fucking tired of having to see this all over the place. Um, yeah, scrambling quarterbacks, but you want one that can take a hit, cause what's his name could not. What was his name? RG3, right? He had his moment. He made his money. But yeah, you want somebody who just in case you don't want somebody always out the pocket, but just in case that pocket collapses, you want somebody to be able to scramble out and make what would be a loss and a sack a possible gain, right? You want to be able to make a little magic, and that's a new thing that every new quarterback should be able to do. Oh, my pocket is collapsing. Let me scramble out and look for somebody, or at least run to the sideline, versus just standing there getting hit or taking a knee or going backwards like Fran Tarkenton used to do. Fucking ginormous arm though. Um, yeah, how adults can make friends now. Look, listen, you don't have to tell adults how to make friends. You don't. Don't be an asshole. How's that? A lot of people are assholes. That's why you don't have any friends, right? And then you stop working, and you can't be assholes to people that you work with because you don't work anymore, and now you need somebody to talk to. A lot of people are problematic. And the Capitol riot trial, the first guy got convicted on all charges. How much time is that? Are we looking at? First trial of Capitol riot that ends with a conviction. A Texas man was convicted on Tuesday. That feels better in my leg. Tuesday on storming the Capitol with a holstered handgun. Land a gun, but you can't have one at the Capitol because those people are paranoid about it and they make the laws. So everybody can have guns, just not around us. Everybody has to fight wars, but not our kids. Everybody has to pay taxes, but not us. You're not allowed to insider trade, but we're fine with that. You see the problem? Why we're always at war? Why there's always to take the spotlight off of how bad they are. U.S. Capitol with hosted gun, a milestone victory for federal prosecutors in the first trial among hundreds of cases arising from the last year's riot. What's going to happen is all these people waiting in the wings see this guy gets convicted of everything. It's gonna change how they get down. Hey Jazzy man, is it followers or subscribers? Like and subscribe and follow. I think that's all of it, right? Isn't we're supposed to is it we're supposed to do? I didn't say that. Aren't we supposed to do it that way? Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe, and if I could find my like and subscribe placard, I would be showing it to you right now while I write a new one. Maybe not a new one, but I'll write another one tomorrow. We're gonna take a day or two off. Probably 4 days off. I want to say next week, but I'm thinking about this week because it's supposed to rain today and tomorrow and the day after. And I was like, 3 rainy days into the weekend, I could get a lot done if I just chilled. But it is what it is. I've been complaining about it since we've been streaming. So yeah, it's like and subscribe and ask all the followers to follow. Thanks, Biz. I appreciate you. Um, so how much did they get Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook. How much did they get Russell Wilson for? I'm trying to look how much time this guy's gonna get convicted of everything. His trial will be the canary in the coal mine. And that's what it is. If we can convict this guy, we can convict all the. And that's what the game is versus you having your own specific thing in court and getting justice for you. And not, it's not, it's just, it's cookie cutter, manufactured rubber stampage is what because they don't want to deal with you. They just want the glory of that position. America has all sorts of problems and no one's looking to solve any of them. How much time can this guy get? The riot resulted in the death of 5 people. See that? I mean, that's true, but it's not true. I mean, it sounds the way they worded that. It sounds like someone killed people. It's resulted in 5 deaths, right? But I think, man, you just can't say that because that's dishonest. Did 5 people die? Yeah, yeah, and we went over this when they died. Like that officer, the day he died, I was like, wait, well, how did he die? Because I worked with a guy who died the same way. He was out with us. He went back to his command and had a heart attack in the locker and died. And they called it a line of duty death because he was at work. It just. But I mean, he wasn't wrestling with anybody. And that guy, like I said, that's a small police department. He likely drove into work, sat at a desk, walked the 80-year-old senator or congressman from point A to point B, and went back to his desk, sat outside. Or he had the same position outside, and he like you do, he sat out there by the on any other days other than that day and watched people come and go. We had a conversation yesterday about having sex and dying, right? Right? Your body needs a base level of exercise, and a lot of people don't get it. And walking is not exercise. And he got all excited, his heart racing there, had to do some stuff, move some shit, and then your energies and adrenaline is up for a sustained period of time, and it hadn't been since you had to run around to get the academy job to get the gig, and then you have a heart attack at work. But other people, and then 3 people committed suicide. How is that on other people? That implies you had some deeper internal thing happening with you. That's no one's fault but your own. I mean, if I break up with my girlfriend and then she kills herself, are you going to charge me with murder? You know what I mean? There's other internal shit going on there. But you need to pimp people for their emotional content. You need them to always either be going, "Oh, that's sad," or "Oh, I hate that guy," right? You want one of those two emotions because those are the emotions that American newspapers are used to using. Going back to the slave days, right? New people in the neighborhood. That there's an Irishman moving in, right? All of a sudden, people we don't know what was it? No Irish, no dogs, no blacks, right? America has a history. All right. How much time is this guy getting? I can't find it here. In the old days, they would tell you who, what, where, why, when, how. And the last few pages, they would tell you if convicted, so and so could get X, Y, Z amount of time in jail, or if they don't do any of that anymore. They will give you pictures with stories. This story that I just read. Let's dim this a little for you. This story that I just read, right? No pictures. I mean, these are at the bottom. These are the stories that you could pick on if you gave a flying fic. No pictures, very little information, right? It's just who died. You said 5 guys died. Where are the pictures, right? This refit guy who just got convicted. Where's his picture? They says here his son testified. Where's his son's picture? Talks about the people who prosecuted. Where are their pictures? The laziest shit, and it keeps getting worse. It really does. It's like the bottom fell out of how we do things here. I keep saying they hacked the system, and hack essentially means uh, I get more out of this in this sort of unfair and illegal way, right? Not really illegal, but sort of uh, hack the rules, right? It's not always some sinister thing, but all the rule hacking means something along the way is being left out, and eventually you'll leave out enough shit that it's not the thing anymore. right? It's a story. I forgot the name of it, but Archimedes' boat, right? It's a story of like if I have a boat and over time I change the light switches and the knobs and the rotor and you know the carpet and the paint and the walls. Eventually, when is that boat not the same boat anymore? Dragnet always gave us the outcome. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Thank you. Like at the end of the episode, they'd go, "So and so and then he'd be sitting there looking like this, look at the camera, was arrested for jaywalking and blah blah blah. His sister was arrested for impeding the aid of a cop and da 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 da." Right. I've seen a lot of good ones on Dragnet. One where it was like a drug thing in the 80s, and they had this college girl was involved in it, and at the end they were like. It said like they she was arrested and given probation and sent to so and so school for ladies, right? Because it's the '60s and it's ladies and it's dragnet, and they threw the fucking book at the dude. The dude was sent to like 27 years in Sing. They always tell you where they sent him in Sing Sing. I was like, wait, they're both doing the same thing. She got probation and like a halfway house, and he got 30 years. Lord, uh, once you're famous in America, you're famous forever. Renee Zellweger says she walks to the Oscars. She walks to the Oscars. I want to be grounded when I go in. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, you know, I'm down to earth, so that's why I like to stock the champagne in my own yacht because I I'm a man of humble beginnings. I don't know. I walk to the Oscars. I buy my diamonds whole half wholesale because I want to give back to the community or whatever. Oh, these people are ridiculous. Here's another good one. So Eric Tarikio, right? I forget his name. And this is a thing that we in the black community are like, what the fuck, Latino people? Um, White supremacist, Latino. Someone explain this to me. Oh my God. So he got arrested today. File photo. Member of the far right Proud Boys um, leader Eric Tario, Tario, rally in support of U.S. President Donald Trump. This is an old picture. Proud Boys leader arrested and charged with conspiracy in the Capitol insurrection. He's the leader of this group, but he's also an FBI fucking informant, and he's still the leader of the group. I don't understand what's going on in this country. Ah, all right. A leader of the far right Proud Boys extremist group was arrested Tuesday on conspiracy charges for his suspected role in coordinated attacks on the U.S. Capitol to stop Congress from certifying Democrat Joe Biden's 2020 electoral victory. Electoral. Electoral victory. How long is this motherfucker? We're not going to read all this either. Oh, it's not as long as I thought it would be. I still can't find out how much time that dude's getting. Hillary Clinton won't run in 2024. Rules out possible Trump rematch. Oh, she's ruled it out. Good. It finally got to her because I think every time she shows her stupid face, her people go, "You can do this." But I think it's finally beginning to get. Maybe her daughter. I'm pretty sure her daughter is probably one of the youngest person she knows and trusts, and I'm sure her daughter isn't so stupid as to be like, "Yeah, man, you got a shot." Her daughter has to have a foot on the pulse of something other than her own bullshit. And maybe she looked around and was like, "Yeah, my friends and their friends and their friends' friends, they're not pulling for you, mom." And she was like, "Oh no, but we've got all these people." Yeah, but those are in uh your allies who you've been around. But the regular people on the ground, they're really not feeling you. Maybe you should seriously rethink it and ask people what they're seeing that other people aren't seeing, mom, and blah, blah, blah. And maybe that got to her and she was like, "Yeah, okay, got it." Because she seems fairly arrogant that someone else will go, why are you running? And she would be like, how dare you? You don't know the da 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 da. So it has to come from somebody that she knows and she likes. And I'm pretty sure that the only people I can think of that being is her kid. Um, a real hero, 11-year-old Ukrainian boy travels more than 600 miles alone to Slovakia. Why was he traveling alone? See, emotional content. Um, First of all, this isn't a heroic story. This is a child abuse story. Uh, all I have to say is your parents had better be dead for you to be walking 600 miles through a war zone. And didn't people see you walking with your little suitcase and not say anything? Here's the picture. I'm gonna show you the. Oh my God! Can I even? Here you go. With a little suitcase walking across by a cross. That right? Nothing says say awe and donate like that picture. Why is he walking by himself? Let's go. Let's get this away from me so I'm not yelling at you. One of many Ukrainians who fled their homes as a result of attacks. An 11-year-old boy who made a heroic journey to Slovakia alone. According to Facebook post from Slovakia embassy in the UK, the boy crossed the Slovakian border with just a plastic bag, a passport, and a phone number written on his hand. How'd you travel 600 miles and not get that phone number written on your hand smudged? And if he had a phone, why wasn't it just in the phone? See what I mean? When people are fucking with you for this. Okay, I'm not. No, let's just read the story. Because it sounds like people are already beginning to try and make me go, oh. And when you do that, I generally go get a beer and go calm down. Well, in my go get a beer days, maybe I go get a milk and hang with the rough boys. Um, Ukrainian refugees search for safety amid Russian invasion. They're going to be searching for family members. If you were tight with your neighbor, you're going to be like, we used to be, and then the war came, and I don't know what happened to them. You don't know if they're dead. And then they're going to be searching about so and so last saw each other 30 years ago in 2020, and now they've reunited, and it'll probably be in fucking California. Hundreds of thousands of refugees are fleeing Ukraine in search of safety, with many going to Poland, Germany, and Hungary. Volunteers gave him food. I would hope so. Volunteers gave him food, water, and warmth to prepare him for his next journey. He conquered everyone with his smile, fearlessness, determination of a real hero, Slovak Interior Minister. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, I want his story. His mother put him on a train and oh my God, you people, in Zaporizhzhia, Zaporizhzhia. You motherfuckers need more nouns in these words. All right, let's get this. His mother put him on a train in Zaporizhia. Zaporizhia, headed to Slovakia with a phone number written on his hand to contact relatives in Slovakian capital. Oh, so he was going to. Okay, no, I get that. We can, baby, I love you. We can't go, but you can make this journey. You have to make this journey. I wonder why she stayed. Mom, grandmom, and granddad. They're just the worst. Look, listen. If you're 25, and I saw this happen at a I mean, I don't want to look it up. If you're 25 and you're on because my family goes on family trips all the time. There's a bunch of us, little kids, and my parents are the matriarch and the patriarch of my family, who are both in their mid 80s. Well, they're not both in their mid 80s. My dad is older than my mom, so mom is early 80s. My dad is late 80s. Maybe mom is 83 or so, and my dad is maybe 87, 89, 88, somewhere around. I should know this, shouldn't I? I know their birthdays. Does that count? Um, they were coming down a volcano, then the volcano started to go off, and you had young kids, 10, 12, 13, that you had to keep hold of, but you also had your elderly people trying to escape. Do I would yell to the kids, go, run, and I would help my mother, right? Uh, if I'm the older guy, I'm telling everybody, just leave me. And yeah, it was a volcano, and people died. And it's so far, you have to make that decision. Tell the kids to go run off, but kids need guidance. Who's gonna go with the kids? So they escape the volcano, right? But what if there's no one to make sure they eat, they feed, they can get to, then they're just loose kids wandering in the world. How old were you before you could cook and defend yourself out in a dark and harsh world? Not at 9, you couldn't. Uh, let's get to it. Hold it. Am I still reading this Russian thing? Did I not close this? I did not close this. We can read this on, where is this? We can find this online. USA Today. Oh man, this is a 2-hour pod today. USA Today. And this is another. Did you see this story? Where's the picture? Oh, good lord. Where's the picture? Hit this picture. This picture is friggin' heartbreaking. Uh oh. Castle. What does that set this background? Didn't want to set. I want to open the image. Set. They were trying to escape. This guy, his wife, and their baby. And a bomb landed and killed them. They're lying dead in the street. The neighbors covered them with blankets in front of a fucking war memorial. Him, his wife, and their baby, and their one pack of. I mean, they have backpacks, but that's it. Everything that they decide to escape with is here. This is one of the saddest things I've seen. I mean, on a residential random street in front of your war memorial, people just laid flowers to the war memorial and they were heading out. It's so fucked up. Um, let's read what this picture says. Oh, stop this. The dead bodies of people killed by Russian shelling lay covered in the street in the town of Irpin, Ukraine. Sunday, March 6th. This was this past week, 2 days ago. They were here Saturday night debating what are we going to do. Exiting a war zone is not easy. Staying is not easy. You have to leave. If you have children, you have to leave. Is it raining outside? Let's open that. You have to leave. Sunday, March 6, 2022, with the Kremlin's rhetoric growing fiercer and reprieve from fighting dissolving, Russian troops continued to shell encircled cities, and the number of Ukrainian forces from their countries grew over 1 to 1.4 million. A lot of people talking about how they left their dogs and their cat. I mean, a complete. I mean, I'm an animal person, but man, how would I? I mean, how would I leave if that's me? Same scenario, right? So now your family's there, right? So now let's take my family. My brother has to leave with his wife and girls. My brother-in-law has to leave with my sister and their well, their kids are gonna be leaving by themselves. Where is last time I saw? For all you know, that's me lying dead in the street. The ambulances aren't gonna come and me and get right. Maybe someone will steal my wallet because it's that kind of time. A few of like the ruble is what 12 cents or some shit. So there's a game called This War of Ours where you try and survive a war zone. Random other bad people will kill you. It's like what is that television series? Not Day of the Dead with the zombies. Just no zombies. Other people will fuck with you. Um, I feel bad for all of it. I'm such a bleeding heart. I feel bad for these puppies you leave behind. I feel bad for these old people who should be in their lap. I feel bad for these. God dang it. I feel bad for these. Oh, did I just? I did just close that. All right. Let me say. I feel bad for all of these people. 98 photos. Look at this old woman. How come I can't make this bigger? Come on, guys, you suck. Look at this young woman, this young mother, and that kid has to be a year and a half, 2 years old. There's a picture. Look at this old woman. How old is he? 16. He's got to get his mom out. I mean, uh, look at this baby. It's just, yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for them, but at the end of the day, look at these sad faces. This is shit that you should be used to because this is how the Western Bloc gets down. Uh, I don't even know. We were gonna read it. Couldn't even bother to read the whole thing. Actually, we were gonna read something else. We were gonna read the boy, but his mother put him on the train to be with the family. I want to know why the mother didn't go. That's what we want to find out. And then we'll end the pod. We'll end the pod. Why did the mother not go? Sending and look, listen. Ukraine has a race issue. Don't be so smug and arrogant to go over there and fight for neo Nazis so they can have a country, and then you take a vacation there, and they will murder you off like they did Bakari in Greece. Not everybody has what's the word I'm looking for? Not everybody has leanings, uh, open leanings like that. A real hero, 11-year-old Ukrainian boy traveled more than 600 miles alone to Slovakia. And what is she saying? She's crying. I feel bad for these people. And this is my thing. Just like this pandemic has shown, all these modern women will get in your face, and then all of a sudden your life is disturbed, and you're like, I need help. Why don't you just be that person? Not be like I need a help person, but like be a little more honest about your deal in your environment. You're not balling out of control and don't need nobody. And I can do it all myself. Because as soon as most people in this country are dealing with a one paycheck from disaster life. It's fucking horrible. Uh, one of many Ukrainians who fled their homes as Russia attacks. One of many Ukrainians who fled their homes as Russia attacks. Brack, an 11-year-old boy who makes a heroic journey to Slovakia alone. That's a weird sentence. One of many Ukrainians who fled their home. It just starts there. It's a weird way to start a sentence. One of many Ukrainians who fled their homes as Russia attacks. An 11-year-old boy who makes a heroic journey to Slovakia alone. It's weird. According to Facebook from Slovakia, the boy crosses. This is the Slovakia Indian embassy. We read some. God dang it! Stop doing that. We read some of these. You click on it and it opens up automatically by itself. You read one of these already, and we just want to know why his mother sent him. She sent him to be with relatives, but why didn't she go with him? His mother put him on a train. Hayden's right with a phone number. Da, 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 but so okay, but he was on a train. This says he walked. Okay, not walked, traveled. I read walked someplace. Um, oh, God dang it. Volunteers gave him food, water, and wanted to prepare him for the next train. He congregated with us on Facebook. Blah, blah, blah. His mother put him on the train. Number written on his hand. Contact relatives in Slovak capital. Blah, blah, blah. The Guardian reports after learning of her son's safe arrival, she thanked everyone who helped him in a video shared on Facebook. What's everyone talking about? I'm grateful that you have saved my child. This is weird. Why is this tweet not showing up here? Okay. I'm grateful you have saved my child's life. Next to my town is a nuclear power plant that the Russians are shooting. I couldn't leave my mother. She can't move on her own. See? Exactly what I said, right? So you have one elder family member that can't travel and you can't rescue. Or it's going to take a lot more drama to rescue that person. And you also have a 9-year old who you needs to get the fuck out of there. He's not to die with his great grandmother. And you being at this point the midpoint between the generations, what do? This is why big families come in handy. Because when that happens, we're not all getting out by ourselves. I'm calling my nephew and my brothers. We're all going to meet centrally and we're all getting out together, right? Because we're local, we're close to each other. And I have other families who are close to each other in other parts of the country. And they're going to have to do the same thing. All right, so she couldn't leave her mom, and she put him on a train. The earlier article made it sound like he walked 600 miles. So he got on a train and didn't get off until he got to the last stop. Genius. Why is this a story? The boy came from Zaporizhia, a city in southern eastern Ukraine, more than 600 miles from the Slovakian border. 600 miles on a train. Trains travel faster than cars, and cars can do 80 miles on a highway, but without restriction, they can go pretty fast. So let's say the average train is traveling at faster than the car, slower than the plane. Let's say the average train is traveling at about 150, 100 and 180 miles an hour. Um, 600 miles. I'd say that's a 4 hour trip. How come on, man. How fast do trains travel? How about this? This is the worst. 300 to 350 kilometers, or 190 to 220 miles per hour. So his trip, essentially 600 miles, took about 4 hours, 3 hours. He didn't get a chance to get hungry. Yeah, okay, I'm calling this story bullshit. Um, I mean, it's not bullshit. I mean, but what 9-year old boy can't do that? Get on this train, honey, and don't get off until you get to X, and then call so and so, and he'll be meeting you. I could do that to any relative. I'm putting you on this Amtrak from California to New York. Don't talk to strangers. Don't get off this thing. You have a phone. If you have any problem, da 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 da. And if it gets you really have a problem, talk to the conductor person, one of those people, right? And there's other stuff. Sitting next to a lady with kids is a good thing, right? Because a lady with kids will likely spill some of that momdom all over you. Oh, are you by yourself, honey? I'm traveling alone. I have to go to something. My mommy said, don't talk to strangers. Don't try. Oh, you. Oh my goodness. She gave me a phone number. Oh, and you're 9. Yeah, because you're not a little kid. You're not 5 or 6. Well, you know where you're going. You're 9. You can be like, oh, okay. You try. Oh, why don't you hang out with us, young man? You can sit with us and talk to my son. You both can play Xboxes. That's 99% of the people. Even as the society wants you to be paranoid or everything, will tell you everyone will not only kill that boy but eat his liver because that's everybody. And the only reason you're safe is because of us, 90-year-old Joe Biden and all these other ridiculous people, right? They want you to think negative. Most people take care of a child, um, but yeah, the this whole thing is fucking ridiculous, and it's not even true. I mean, not I can't say it's not true, but a lot of this stuff is being spun. Like I tell you, no one's talking about the giant neo-Nazi issue going on with the Slovakians and the Slovakians. That whole area, right? Is you got some of the Germans with their bullshit. You got Russian Federation with its bullshit. You got all the old Eastern Bloc, uh, yeah, neo Nazis in Europe. You want to look it up? No, no, no. We're trying to. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I don't want Warren, but at the same time, let's call it what it is. Neo Nazis in the Ukraine. It's not. First of all, it's not run by. They've got. Look, saying that Ukraine is run by neo Nazis is probably like saying that America is run by the Klan, right? It's not true. Um, but it's hard to take this thing out of the environment, and it's been in that environment since Hitler in like the 1920s. Just like racism is in our environment against the blacks primarily, hateful of other people too, because they come here from Europe with issues with each other, but generally against the blacks is what, right? And nobody's going to say that America is still what it was in the 1750s, right, when this was going on, before it was a country, and after in the 1780s when it was going on, and the place wasn't a country anymore, as well as the 1860s when the place had fought a civil war. Yeah, we black people feature prominently in American history, and we might actually end this whole thing because it's so everything is so wound up with us. How what should we do with them is always a conversation in America. Sadly, neo-Nazis and the far right are on the march in the Ukraine, February 22nd, 2019. February. That is 3 years ago. I don't want to subscribe to the Nation. How do I get out of this? Back to the Nation's homepage. Oh, and when I go back, I get some of it. All right, nobody's interested. This is what people do. They use portions of the truth to get what they want. So him saying, "Well, Nazis, yeah, they're Nazis, but there's also Nazis in your country, right?" So now the Nazis in the Ukraine and the Jews in the Ukraine are both on the same team of making sure that the Ukraine you know what I mean? So if the West said, "Hey, whoa, they got Nazis," the Nazis and the Ukrainian Jews would be like, "Well, no, no Nazis here. We're fighting the Russians. Don't buy their bullshit." Right? It's the same thing here. If a foreign invading army came here, you would find the Klan and the Black Panther side by side with their guns shooting at whoever is on the opposition. Right? We will handle our beef here. Who the fuck are you to show up here? And it's that. And I think that just makes fucking sense. I mean, look, and when we went into Iraq, all those people who had all those problems with each other stopped firing at each other long enough to fire at us. And as soon as we left, they went back to what they were doing. I'm not could strengthen neo Nazis. Ukraine's struggle against Russia and its proxies continue. Kiev must also contend with growing problem behind the front lines. Far right vigilantes who are willing to use intimidation and even violence to advance their agenda, who often do so with tacit approval of law enforcement agencies. I mean, this is the Ukraine and their little tiki torch, right? This is not the one that happened here in the South. This is the Ukraine. I mean, here they all had tiki torches and they all had different shirts. Here they've got unity. They've all got the same racist jacket, racist face guards, so you don't want to show your face, racist hats. It is what it is, baby. Ukrainian President Peter, this is 2 years ago, here in Kiev, February 28, 2018, commands Ukraine security and intelligence services. Let's see. Supporters of the Ukrainian nationalists and far right groups take part in a rally to mark Defenders of Ukraine Day in Kiev, October 14, 2017. Far right. Interior Minister Arsen Avakov controls the Ukraine Police, National Guard, and several former militias. So this was 2 years ago. Is the racism over in the Ukraine? Should I go and help them defend their fucking nation? Oy. The Ukraine's hyper nationalist military summer camp for kids. Okay. Do we even want to read this? Because we know it's going to end up with a story about them beating the fuck out of somebody, right? January 20th demonstration carried by 600 members of the so-called National Militia, a newly formed ultranationalist group that vows to use force to establish order, illustrates its threat. While the group's Kiev launch was peaceful, National Militia members in Balaclavas in Balaklavas stormed a city council meeting in central Ukrainian town of Cherkasky the following day, skirmishing with deputies and forcing them to pass a new budget. Okay. So yeah, before you blow smoke up my skirt about the Ukrainians, I'm gonna puff my J and tell you to go kick rocks. Uh, I don't wear skirts. I do wear sarongs. Try and blow smoke up that. All right, that is it for us. Woo, 43 minutes. We've been streaming for 2 hours. We're gonna wrap this one up. I think I've got my energy back. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow? I'll be back tomorrow. It's only a day away. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. It's only a day away. All right, yeah. So, I um am exhausted and I'm tired and some of this stuff don't make any sense and we'll fix it in the coming 10 days. I'm apt to fix it cuz I have to fix my good lord this freaking I have to fix my I have to fix my deal, my dealio, my shizzle. All right, everyone, thank you. Oh, it's USA Today. Uh, when you sent me two links, what are these links? Article. Ugh. All right. I feel bad for all these kids, right? But I'm familiar. I'll feel bad for them. They'll show up here and treat me badly. Then I'll be like, what the fuck? So my head is on a swivel, and I know what the drama is. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, should we clip this one? We'll clippity 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 clip. Uh, all right, yeah. So let's just end the pod. Let's just end the stream. We'll see you in the next one. Let's cut this off. At 10 to 9 here on Tuesday. Will I be back tomorrow? Yeah, I just said so. Tomorrow, right? Uh, but we got to fix this. I got to start doing this whole thing a little more correctly, with a little more of an eye toward uh, keeping accurate of what we say when we say it. Because I want to be able to point back, even if I have to write on a wall and go, on this show we said X and we were right. Um, and I also want to find people who we like and say that guy had it right too. Because I think we're not the only ones. We're not somehow all knowing and everyone else is getting it wrong. There's a lot of people who are where we are, and we're like, this doesn't make any sense. And those people just aren't getting any heat, any traction. So yeah, if you think there's something weird and squiffy and going on here, it's not you. You're right. Something is definitely weird and squiffy and going on here. Uh, but it is what it is, and that's what it is, and that is all that it is, and that's what it will be, I guess. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, Franks and Beans. I will see you in the next one. The next one's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. It's gonna rain tomorrow. It's gonna be a mess tomorrow. Next one's tomorrow. Uh, next one's tomorrow. Have a good one. Let's close this rebroadcaster. Take care. Edit that's present on stream. Take care of yourself. Remember, there are sinister forces out there that come to you as allies. You need to be able to look at what is being said and who is saying it, and if it's worth listening to. And once you get into the habit of that, you get really good at. It's like reading music or reading in general, right? First, you have a little hard time pronouncing and then you see the enough that you don't even have to sound it out. You just kind of drop it in. Then, just like all the other things, you'll see all this stuff enough that you should be familiar with what nonsense is coming down the pike. If I said da 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 da, you would go duh, and I'd be like, yeah, see, you get it. This is that. You know, they are what they are. Um, we the sooner we hold political class accountable to be better to us, the sooner they will be. But they have to be held accountable. Um, January 6th was not the way to do it, but they weren't far off with I'm angry at you. They have the thing about the January 6th thing. They're making it seem like only crazy white racist people did this, and that's the problem. And it's you want to concentrate on the white. There was all the brown people in that shit too. And not, I say this all the time. Everything isn't what you say it is. Sometimes your enemy is right about what they say about you is also a true thing. They don't always have to lie about you, right? The Soviet Union was right in the 60s. Hey, they say freedom. Look how they treat the black people. They weren't lying. I mean, it's an uncomfortable truth you don't want them to deal with, but it's the truth. And that's what we have here. Sometimes the people in charge need to be called out and replaced. Might be you down the line. If you replace them, we've done enough of these, but you'll go, I'm not gonna fuck with the people. They make sure they at least got drinking water while I'm sitting here doing insider training, making myself rich. At the very minimum, I gotta make sure they get something. This political class is like, fuck them. I'm gonna get rich, and how dare they, you know, let them march or complain or protest. So what? As long as they stay over there. And those, I mean, people see you're not doing anything, and now you got people running up on you in restaurants and all this stuff. And you're lucky that they just yelled at you in restaurants. It's going to get to the point where people are going to run up on you in a restaurant, and it's going to be violence. And then you're going to be like, "How did we get here? What do you mean, how did we get here? You people suck is how we got here." And then they're just going to go call everybody a communist or a racist or something, and to protect, to control the narrative of them being completely incompetent, disloyal, and sinister, right? So remember that. Uh, have your own mind. That's very important, and you'll go further, even in this weird society, since you and I can't change it. Uh, so yeah, that's it. We'll see you, boys and girls, in the next one. The next one is tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Don't fall for the nonsense. Peace.